Hi guys, welcome back to Felix BL Stories channel. I hope you enjoy this new story. The first thing my alpha stepbrother said when I returned home was, "You are 3 days too late. I already sold the farm." The second thing he did was drive a shovel into the earth beneath our tree and uncover the ring I had buried for him 9 years earlier. Cole Mason stood frozen beside the exposed roots, one hand wrapped around the mud-covered silver band. The land buyer stopped talking. The surveyor lowered his measuring equipment. Even the wind seemed to go silent. Cole rubbed his thumb over the engraving inside the ring. Then he looked directly at me. His expression was not merely angry. It was the expression of a man discovering that the worst belief of his life might have been a lie. "You bought this," he said. It was not a question. I could not answer. Cole took one step toward me, his alpha scent cutting through the cold morning air like cedar split open by lightning. "You buried a ring beneath our tree," he said. "Then you disappeared before sunrise." Before I tell you what happened next, remember to like the video and subscribe for more emotional BL stories. This is the YouTube-safe version. The full, uncut continuation, adult spicy scenes, alternate alpha point of view, real ending, and bonus epilogue are available on Patreon through the link in the description and pinned comment. Cole held the ring between us. "Tell me why," he said. Behind him, a red sign leaned against the tree trunk. "Sold." I looked from the sign to the ring, and I realized that I had not returned merely to save the farm. I had returned to stand in the exact place where my life had broken apart. My name is Nathan Reed. I was 28 years old, an Omega, and an agricultural science teacher at a vocational high school 2 counties away. For 7 years, I had taught students how to restore exhausted soil, calculate feed costs, manage livestock safely, and recognize when a farm was failing before the family who owned it was ready to admit the truth. I had become very good at rescuing other people's land. I had stayed away from my own. The message that brought me home had arrived from Cole's grandmother, Evelyn Mason, at 4:17 on a Tuesday morning. "The farm goes to closing on Friday. Cole will not ask you to come." I am asking. By 6, I had submitted an emergency leave request. By 7, I had packed 2 shirts, a winter coat, my laptop, and every document I had collected about cooperative farm ownership during the previous 3 years. By 8, I was driving toward Reed Mason Farm with my hands clenched around the steering wheel. I had imagined several versions of my arrival. In none of them was Cole already standing beside a buyer. Grant Hollis wore polished boots that had never crossed a muddy field until that morning. He was a tall beta in an expensive wool coat, with silver-framed glasses and a smile that seemed designed for bank offices. His company had been buying distressed farmland across the region and converting it into private equestrian estates, storage developments, and luxury weekend properties. He did not look embarrassed when I arrived. He looked inconvenienced. "Mr. Reed," Grant said, "Cole mentioned that another family member might appear." Cole had not mentioned me by name. That hurt more than it should have. The surveyor had been marking the line where Grant planned to widen the access road. One of his stakes had landed dangerously close to the old sycamore tree. Cole had taken the shovel to move the stake before the surveyor damaged the roots. That was how he found the ring. 9 years underground had darkened the silver, but the band was intact. So was the engraving. CM. 2 letters that could have meant nothing. Cole knew they meant him. He was 31 now. He had become broader through the shoulders since I had last seen him, and the softness of youth had vanished from his face. His dark hair was shorter. A faint scar crossed the edge of his jaw. He wore the forest green jacket from his veterinary practice, and dried blood marked one cuff from whatever emergency had called him out before dawn. He looked exactly like the man I had spent 9 years trying not to imagine. He also looked exhausted. There were shadows beneath his eyes. His scent was restrained, held beneath professional blockers. but I could still detect the bitter edge of sleeplessness. "Why is there a sold sign on the property?" I asked. Cole's fingers closed around the ring. "You received the message, so you already know. I know there is a closing scheduled. I do not know why you agreed to it. The bank knows why. Then explain it to me." Grant glanced between us. "This appears to be a family conversation." "It was a family conversation before you bought the ground under our feet," I said. Grant's smile thinned. "The purchase agreement is lawful. An agreement can be lawful and still be predatory." Cole moved before Grant could answer. He stepped between us without touching me, placing his body in the path of the beta's irritation. It was a reflex. Private protection from the same alpha who had just told me I was too late. Cole had always done that. Even when we were young adults who had no right to want each other, he had stood between me and every raised voice. Except the one voice that mattered. "Grant," Cole said, "give us 10 minutes. The survey needs to be completed. The tree is not part of your road. The preliminary plan says otherwise." Cole's scent sharpened. "The tree is not part of your road." Grant studied him for a moment. Then he nodded to the surveyor. "We will check the southern boundary first." They walked toward the lower field. Cole waited until they were out of hearing range. Then he turned to me. "You have 10 minutes, he said. "To stop a sale that ends Friday?" "To explain the ring. I did not come here to discuss the ring. You did not come here for 9 years. His words landed harder than a shout. Cole opened his hand. Mud filled the shallow cuts across his palm. The ring lay at the center. "I searched this farm for something that proved I had not imagined what happened between us," he said. "I checked your room. I checked the barn. I checked the truck you left behind. I called until your number stopped working." "I know." "No, you do not know." His voice remained quiet, which made it worse. "You did not watch your phone ring until the call failed for the last time. You did not spend years wondering whether you had mistaken kindness for love. You did not stand beneath this tree every spring and remember that you promised to meet me here." My throat tightened. Cole took another step closer. "You promised," he said. "I remember. Then why was your ring in the ground?" I looked at the sycamore. The tree had grown wider during my absence. Its roots had lifted the earth where we had once sat with our shoulders pressed together, pretending that our parents' marriage had not changed the name of every feeling we carried. Our parents had married when Cole was 22 and I was 19. We had not grown up as brothers. We had met as adults. We had worked the same farm for 3 summers while studying in different cities. By the time our parents married, the attraction between us already existed. The marriage did not create our feelings. It made them impossible to admit. The night before I left, I had buried the ring inside a small wooden box. I had planned to bring Cole beneath the tree at sunrise, dig it up, and tell him the truth. My mother found it first. At least, I had believed she did. Now the ring was still in Cole's hand. The wooden box was gone. "I cannot give you the answer in 10 minutes, I said. Cole laughed once, without humor. "You had 9 years. And you have a foreclosure deadline." His expression changed. It was slight, but I saw it. Fear beneath the anger. I took my laptop bag from my shoulder and opened it on the hood of my car. I reviewed the public property records while driving here. "You reviewed records while driving?" "At rest stops." "That is not better. It is safer." Cole's mouth almost moved. Almost. I opened a county map. The sale includes the north pasture, the teaching shed, the lower creek access, and the veterinary outbuilding. It includes everything. That lower access road is also the only reliable route to Owen Pike's farm during flood season. Cole's jaw tightened. "I know. Does Grant?" "He received the easement documents. The recorded easement from 1987 is incomplete. There was a handwritten renewal after the bridge collapse in 2002. "How do you know?" "Dad kept a copy in the blue ledger." Cole looked toward the house. The ledgers are gone. What do you mean, gone? I mean the office flooded 18 months ago. Half the records were destroyed. Was the blue ledger among them? I do not know. You signed a sale without confirming the easements. I signed a conditional purchase agreement to stop the bank from auctioning the farm next week. His control cracked for the first time. We owe more than the land produces, Nathan. The mortgage was refinanced twice. The equipment loans are behind. The clinic income has been covering payroll and medication, not the farm. There is no hidden reserve. There is no last field of gold. There is debt. How much? That is not your concern. It became my concern when Evelyn contacted me. She had no right. She lives here. She is recovering from surgery. And you are selling her home. His scent surged. The alpha pressure struck the air before he pulled it back. Grant and the surveyor both looked up from the distant field. Cole lowered his voice. Do not accuse me of abandoning this family. The words stopped me. He glanced at the ring. Then he closed his fist again. I stayed, he said. Whatever else you believe about me, I stayed. I should have answered with the truth. I should have told him that I left because my mother had stood in the farmhouse kitchen, holding the wooden ring box and a printed copy of Cole's veterinary scholarship agreement. She had told me that one anonymous morality complaint would trigger an investigation. She had explained that the scholarship committee included 3 men from our church and a donor who had already questioned whether Cole's presentation was sufficiently traditional for a rural veterinarian. She had told me that if I met Cole beneath the tree, if I confessed, or if I contacted him after leaving, she would make certain he never entered veterinary school. I had believed her. At 19, I had believed that love meant disappearing before I could destroy the person I loved. I had not known that my silence would destroy him differently. I looked at the strain around Cole's eyes. I did not come to accuse you, I said. I came to find another option. There is no other option. There is always another option. That sounds like something a teacher says before assigning a project. I am a teacher. You are a visitor. The word was deliberate. I felt it anyway. Cole turned away. You can stay in the guest room until Friday, he said. Grandmother will want to see you. After the closing, Grant takes possession in 30 days. You expect me to leave without fighting this? I expect you to do what you have always done. He walked toward the barn. The ring remained in his hand. Grant Hollis returned a moment later. Family reunions are difficult, he said. I closed my laptop. This is not a reunion. No? No, this is an intervention. Grant studied me with renewed interest. The purchase contract has been executed. Conditional contracts can fail. Not this one. Every contract can fail. His polite expression disappeared. Cole is receiving enough to satisfy the primary lender, settle the equipment liens, and relocate his grandmother. If the bank proceeds to auction, your family could lose the land and remain responsible for several unsecured debts. You sound unusually familiar with our finances. I purchased distressed property. Familiarity is my profession. So is pressure. Grant adjusted one glove. Friday is approaching, Mr. Reed. I suggest you spend the time making peace with your family, rather than inventing reasons to interfere. He left before I could answer. A truck engine sounded behind me. Owen Pike climbed out of an aging pickup with one headlight held in place by silver tape. Owen was 42, a beta, and built like a man who had spent his life lifting things no one else could move. When I was young, he had taught me how to repair a broken irrigation line using a bicycle tube and 2 clamps. Now his beard was streaked with gray. His face changed when he recognized me. Nathan? Hello, Owen. He pulled me into a hug that nearly lifted me off the ground. Then he held me at arm's length. You got taller. I did not. Then I got shorter. His smile faded when he saw the sold sign. You heard. Evelyn contacted me. Owen looked toward the barn. Cole will hate that. He has already communicated his position. He has been communicating with Walls for months. What happened? Owen glanced toward Grant. Not here. He opened the passenger door of his truck. Come help me with the feed bags. There were no feed bags. He drove us to the far side of the north pasture, where the land dipped out of view from the farmhouse. Then he turned off the engine. If Grant closes on this farm, I lose my winter access, he said. I know about the easement. He says it expired. There was a renewal. Do you have it? Not yet. Owen rubbed both hands over his face. My bank moved up the review on my loan. They saw the development proposal. If I lose guaranteed access, they reclassify my property risk. I will not receive another operating extension. You are facing foreclosure too. End of the month. Does Cole know? He knows enough. Why did he agree to Grant's terms? Because Grant offered fast money, and fast money is the only kind that arrives before a foreclosure auction. Owen stared through the windshield. Your father's final year cost more than anyone admitted. Then Evelyn needed heart surgery. Cole refinanced the farm, mortgaged the clinic equipment, and stopped paying himself. He has been sleeping in the examination room 3 nights a week because he sold his apartment last spring. I turned toward him. He sold his apartment? You did not know. No. Of course you did not. There was no cruelty in Owen's voice. That made it worse. He will not tell you, Owen continued. Pride is the only thing that Alpha has left without a lien attached. The sale price is too low. I know. Grant is exploiting the deadline. I know that too. Then why is everyone letting it happen? Owen's grip tightened around the steering wheel. Because sometimes the bad door is the only one that opens. I looked across the pasture. The winter grass was pale beneath the morning light. Beyond the fence stood the agricultural shed where I had raised my first lamb. Farther north was the shallow creek where Cole and I had sat during our final summer, discussing the places we would live after graduation. He had wanted to open a mixed animal clinic. I had wanted to teach. We had drawn plans for both buildings on the same sheet of paper. Neither of us had said why the 2 buildings stood beside each other. I have a cooperative ownership proposal, I said. Owen looked at me. For this farm? For this farm and yours, if we can build enough participation. With what money? State agricultural education grants, beginning farmer investment, a conservation easement purchase, community shares, veterinary outreach funding, school district partnership. You have until Friday. I know. That is 3 days. I also know that. Owen stared at me for several seconds. Then he started the truck. Your former classmate works at the county extension office now. Maya? Dr. Maya Torres, rural finance specialist. She hated me. She hated that you corrected her soil calculations in front of the class. They were wrong. That explanation probably contributed. Will she help? She enjoys impossible projects and proving people wrong. That sounds promising. It sounds expensive. Back at the house, Evelyn Mason waited for me on the porch. She was 76 and smaller than I remembered, but her eyes were as sharp as ever. A pale scar disappeared beneath the collar of her blouse. She leaned on a cane decorated with carved sunflowers. You took long enough, she said. Then she hugged me. Evelyn had never pretended that Cole and I were brothers simply because our parents married. She called us her 2 stubborn grandsons when she wanted something. When she wanted honesty, she used our names. She touched my face. You look tired. So does Cole. He looks worse. Why did you wait until this week to contact me? Because he made me promise not to. And you broke the promise. I am old enough to understand that some promises are merely mistakes wearing formal clothes. She led me into the kitchen. The room was unchanged except for the empty spaces. The oak table remained, but 2 chairs were missing. The copper pans my father loved were gone. So was the antique clock above the pantry. Cole sold them, Evelyn said when she noticed me looking. For your medical bills? For all the bills. Why did no one tell me? Would you have come? The question was not accusatory. It did not need to be. I would have helped. How? I have savings. Enough to pay $683,000. I went still. The debt is that high? After fees, penalties, and the clinic loans, it is higher. Grant's offer cannot cover all of that. It does not. Cole told me it would satisfy the primary lender. It will. And the rest? Cole's clinic remains collateral. I sat at the table. He is selling the farm and still risking the clinic. Yes. Why? Because the alternative is losing both immediately. Evelyn lowered herself into the chair across from me. Your father had a stroke 4 years ago. He required long-term care before he died. The insurance dispute lasted nearly 2 years. Cole covered the facility deposits because your mother said she had no accessible money. My mother inherited Dad's retirement account. After probate, she could have borrowed against other assets. She did not. A familiar pressure formed behind my ribs. Where is she now? Driving here. I looked up. You contacted her too? I did not need to. Grant did. Why would Grant contact my mother? Because she still owns 12% of the farm. I had forgotten. When my father died, part of his interest had passed to his spouse. My mother had moved to the city less than a month after the funeral. She had not invited me to the memorial dinner. She had sent a text informing me that the service would remain small. I had watched the live stream alone in my apartment. What does she gain from the sale? I asked. A clean separation from the debt. Then she will oppose any cooperative plan that leaves her attached. Probably. Did she know you contacted me? No. Good. Evelyn reached across the table and covered my hand. Nathan, there is something you must understand before she arrives. The back door opened. Cole entered, carrying a metal veterinary case. His gaze dropped to Evelyn's hand over mine. Something unreadable crossed his face. Then he placed the case on the counter. I told you not to involve him, he said. Evelyn did not release me. And I decided you were wrong. This is not your decision. It is my home. For 3 more days. The cruelty of the sentence hit Cole after he said it. His scent changed instantly. Regret softened the cedar. Evelyn withdrew her hand. Cole closed his eyes. I am sorry, he said. Do not apologize to me because the bank has frightened you into becoming stupid. I am not frightened. You are sleeping beside sick goats because you sold your bed. Cole glanced at me. I wished I could pretend I had not heard. You discussed my apartment, he said. I discussed your habit of sacrificing everything and calling it responsibility. The telephone rang. Cole reached it first. Mason Veterinary. His posture changed as he listened. When did the contractions begin? He checked the clock. No, do not pull. Keep her standing if you can. I will be there in 15 minutes. He ended the call and opened the metal case. Owen's heifer is in trouble. I will come, I said. No, I have assisted with difficult births. 9 years ago. I teach livestock management. You teach teenagers using plastic models. I supervise the school herd. He closed the case. You are not part of my team. Evelyn tapped her cane against the floor. You need another pair of hands. I will call June. Your technician is attending her daughter's graduation. Cole hesitated. I stood. You can dislike me in the truck. He looked at me for a long moment. Then his gaze moved to my clothes. There are coveralls in the mudroom. Are they still mine? I did not keep your clothes for 9 years. The answer came too quickly. I found my old coveralls hanging behind the mudroom door. Cole said nothing when I returned wearing them. The drive to Owen's farm took 7 minutes. Cole used every one of them to ignore me. His veterinary truck smelled of antiseptic, leather, and the restrained cedar of his scent. A faded green scarf was tied around the rearview mirror. I recognized it. I had left it in his truck during our final winter. He noticed me staring. "I use it to clean the glass," he said. "It appears remarkably clean. Do not make meaning from a piece of fabric. You made meaning from a ring." His hands tightened on the wheel. It had my initials. "The scarf has my scent. Not after 9 years." The Omega part of me knew he was lying. Fabric held scent only faintly after that long, but Cole had washed it carefully. The edges were worn, not stained. He had preserved it. We reached Owen's barn before either of us said more. The heifer was exhausted, and the calf was positioned incorrectly. Cole became a different person the moment he knelt beside the animal. His anger vanished beneath focus. His instructions were calm and exact. He explained each movement before making it. Even with an animal in distress, his alpha presence was never domination for its own sake. It was steadiness. I remembered why I had loved him. Then I remembered that I had never stopped. "Hold the tail," he said. I moved into position. More pressure against her hip. I adjusted. His arm pressed against mine. The contact lasted less than a second. My scent changed anyway. Cole's gaze flickered toward me. He had noticed. He did not comment. We worked for 40 minutes. When the calf finally slid free, motionless and slick against the straw, Owen made a broken sound. Cole immediately cleared its airway. I rubbed the calf's ribs with a towel. "Come on," I whispered. "You have already caused enough trouble." Cole worked beside me. The calf coughed. Then it inhaled. Owen leaned against the stall door, laughing and crying at the same time. The heifer turned toward her calf. Cole sat back on his heels. Relief softened his face. For one dangerous moment, we looked at each other as though 9 years had not passed. Then Owen's phone rang. His relief disappeared. He answered, listened, and walked outside. Cole began cleaning his instruments. "That was the bank," I said. "You do not know that." "Yes, I do." Cole kept working. "You knew Owen's farm was at risk. He told you. He told me Grant's development could eliminate his access and trigger foreclosure. The easement issue will be settled." "By whom?" "Grant's attorney." I stared at him. "You trust Grant's attorney to protect Owen?" "I negotiated a temporary access clause." "Temporary?" 5 years. Owen's family has used that road for 38 years. It was the best Grant would offer. It was the best you could obtain while negotiating a loan. Cole stood. "I have been alone." The words filled the barn. Neither of us moved. Cole looked away first. He carried the instruments to the truck. When Owen returned, his face was gray. "They moved the deadline," he said. "How far?" I asked. "Monday. That gives us 6 days." "For what?" "A cooperative bid." Cole stopped beside the truck. "No." Owen looked between us. "Nathan says there may be another structure." "There is not. You have not heard it. I have heard plans before." Cole looked directly at me. They usually end with him leaving. I forced myself not to retreat. "You do not have to trust me," I said. "You only have to give me access to the financial records." "No." "Then give them to Maya Torres." His expression shifted. "You contacted Maya?" "I am about to." "She works for the extension office, not a miracle department. She has agricultural finance experience. She also has professional obligations. She will tell you the same thing the accountants did. Then let her tell me." Owen stepped between us. "Cole, this does not concern you. My road crosses your land. My mortgage depends on your sale. My pregnant heifer nearly died while the bank called to accelerate my loan. It concerns me." Cole's jaw flexed. Owen continued. "I know Nathan hurt you." The alpha scent in the barn intensified. "This is not the place. It became the place when you used old anger to reject a financial review." Cole looked at me with a warning in his eyes. I did not look away. Finally, he said, You can review the records until tomorrow evening. Until Friday. Tomorrow. 3 days. 48 hours. Until noon Friday. You bargain like your father. You surrender like my mother. Cole went completely still. I regretted the sentence immediately. He placed the veterinary case in the truck. Noon Friday, he said. After that, you stop interfering. He drove away without me. Owen watched the truck disappear. Did you intend to walk home? No. Did you intend to insult the man with the truck? No. Your strategic planning has declined since school. Maya Torres answered my call on the third ring. Nathan Reed, she said. Either you need money or someone has calculated soil density incorrectly. Both are possible. She arrived at the farm 2 hours later, carrying 3 laptops, a scanner, 2 thermoses, and the expression of a woman who enjoyed financial disasters more than healthy people should. Maya was an alpha, 30 years old, and one of the youngest rural development specialists in the state. She wore a red coat and practical boots. Her dark curls were twisted into a knot. When Cole saw her enter the kitchen, he looked at me with open betrayal. You actually called her. I told you I would. Maya set down her equipment. Hello, Cole. Maya, I heard you were selling the farm to Grant Hollis. You heard quickly. Distressed agricultural property is a small world. Predatory buyers make it smaller. Cole folded his arms. Grant's offer prevented immediate auction and moved ownership of a critical water corridor into a development company. There is no recorded water corridor. Maya smiled. That sounded like a challenge. For the next 7 hours, we covered the kitchen table with loan statements, medical invoices, land maps, insurance appeals, clinic records, equipment liens, and property tax documents. Cole provided everything we requested. He did it with the resentful precision of a man who wanted us to fail efficiently. The debt was worse than Evelyn had admitted. The original farm mortgage was manageable. The refinancing was not. When my father became ill, Cole had taken a second position agricultural loan at a variable rate. When the insurer delayed reimbursement, he borrowed against his clinic equipment. When Evelyn required surgery, he entered a short-term bridge agreement secured by the North Pasture. 3 lenders now held overlapping claims. Grant Hollis had purchased one of those notes. That explains his familiarity, I said. Cole looked up. He disclosed the note purchase. After or before presenting the sale agreement? Before. How long before? Cole did not answer. Maya found the disclosure page. 2 days, she said. He purchased the distressed note on March 3rd and presented the farm acquisition proposal on March 5th. That is leverage, I said. It is lawful leverage, Cole replied. Maya gave him a flat look. Lawfulness is not a synonym for fairness. She turned another page. Grant's company will satisfy the first mortgage. It will exchange the second note for a reduced payment secured by your clinic. It will assume the equipment debt only if the closing occurs Friday. And if it does not? I asked. The equipment lender resumes seizure proceedings. Cole's clinic would lose its mobile diagnostic unit, surgical equipment, and 2 vehicles. Without them, the practice would collapse. Maya leaned back. The cooperative idea is possible, but not by Friday. Cole's expression closed. I told you. I said not by Friday. I did not say impossible. He looked at her again. We need a delay, Maya continued. A legitimate one. Easement dispute, environmental review, title defect, anything that prevents clean transfer. The buyer already completed title review, Cole said. Buyers miss things when deadlines reward blindness. I remembered the blue ledger, the irrigation renewal. Maya turned to me. What irrigation renewal? I explained the 2002 agreement. Owen's father and mine had rebuilt a flood-damaged access road together. In exchange, our farm received seasonal water rights through Owen's upper pond, while Owen received permanent emergency access across our north pasture. The formal easement had never been properly updated, but both families signed a handwritten continuation, witnessed by the county road supervisor. If the agreement remained enforceable, Grant could not close without addressing Owen's rights. "Where is the document?" Maya asked. "Possibly destroyed. Possibly is not useful. There may be a duplicate at the county archive. The archive building is closed for renovation." Then with the former road supervisor, Cole shook his head. "Mr. Halpern died. His daughter kept his papers," Evelyn said from the doorway. We all turned. She entered carrying a tray of sandwiches. "Mr. Halpern never discarded anything. His daughter complained that his garage contained every county notice since the invention of ink." Maya checked the time. "What is her name?" "June Halpern. I know her," Owen said. "She runs the feed store near Ashford." Maya pointed at him. "Call her." While Owen searched for the number, I examined the property map. The old sycamore stood directly beside the proposed access road expansion. The tree was more than sentimental. Its root zone marked the beginning of the disputed corridor. Grant's surveyor had been measuring the exact land affected by the handwritten agreement. That was why Grant wanted the tree removed. The ring had appeared because the buyer was trying to erase the evidence line. The crisis object in Cole's pocket and the financial crisis on the table had come from the same patch of earth. Then the front door opened. My mother entered without knocking. Vivian Reed looked almost exactly as she had 9 years earlier. Her blonde hair was cut at the same elegant angle. Her coat was cream-colored and untouched by mud. She carried a leather handbag against one arm. She looked first at me, then at the documents covering the table. Her mouth tightened. "Nathan," she said, "I was not informed that you were coming." "That was intentional," Evelyn replied. My mother ignored her. "You should not be here." The room became silent. Cole watched us both. I stood. "The farm belongs partly to me." "You signed your interest to your father before leaving." "I signed management authority, not ownership." Her eyes narrowed. "That distinction will not change the sale." "It might." Grant entered behind her. He removed his gloves slowly. "I asked Mrs. Reed to attend because her signature is required at closing." "Ms. Reed," my mother corrected. "My apologies." Maya closed the financial file. "You also purchased one of the farm's distressed notes immediately before making your offer." Grant looked at her. "Dr. Torres, I did not realize the extension office had joined the discussion." "It has not. I am here as a private consultant." "Then you understand that delay could trigger immediate enforcement from the equipment lender. I understand that your company negotiated an acceleration arrangement." Cole looked at Grant. "What arrangement?" Grant's expression remained calm. "The equipment lender agreed to pause proceedings through Friday." "That is not what she said." Maya turned her laptop. "The lender's notice references a servicing agreement with Hollis Rural Holdings. Your company is not merely assuming the equipment debt after closing. You are administering it now." Cole read the screen. His scent filled the kitchen. Grant did not step back, but his hand tightened around his gloves. "It is a standard coordination agreement," he said. "You told me you had no control over the seizure deadline," Cole replied. "I said the lender had conditions. You said you were trying to protect the clinic." "I am." "By controlling the deadline that forces me to sell?" Grant's voice cooled. "Without my offer, the farm would already be scheduled for auction. Without your servicing agreement, I might have had longer to negotiate." My mother placed her handbag on the counter. "This outrage is pointless. The debts exist regardless of who administers them." Cole turned to her. "You recommended Grant. I introduced a qualified buyer." "You told me his offer was the only way to protect grandmother." "It is." "Did you know he had purchased the note?" She paused. That pause was enough. Cole stepped back as though she had touched him. "You knew." I knew his company had the ability to manage a complicated closing. You knew. My mother lifted her chin. And I knew that your refusal to face financial reality was placing everyone at risk. I moved between them. Do not speak to him like that. Her gaze cut toward me. You have no right to defend him after leaving him with every responsibility. The accusation struck exactly where she intended. Cole's scent changed. Not anger. Pain. I felt the old fear rise inside me. My mother saw it. For 1 second, we were back in the kitchen 9 years earlier. She was holding the wooden ring box. I was 19 and terrified. She knew I still had not told him. Perhaps we should discuss the sale privately, she said. No, I replied. Her eyebrows lifted. The word surprised both of us. No more private discussions, I said. Cole looked at me. My mother lowered her voice. You do not understand what is at stake. I understand better than I did the last time you used that sentence. Color drained from her face. Grant glanced between us. What last time? Cole asked. My mother picked up her handbag. This is not relevant. The ring is in my pocket, Cole said. I think it is relevant. She froze. Cole took the ring out and placed it on the table. Mud still darkened the engraving. My mother stared at it. I watched recognition cross her face. Cole saw it too. You have seen this ring before, he said. I have not. You look directly at the engraving. Your initials are obvious. They are inside the band. She said nothing. Cole's voice dropped. How did you know? The pressure in the kitchen became unbearable. I could hear my pulse. I could smell the sharp edge of Cole's alarm. My mother's gaze fixed on me. The old command remained in her eyes. Stay silent. Protect him. Leave. I opened my mouth. A phone rang before I could speak. Grant checked his screen. He looked annoyed. The Southern survey team found a fuel tank near the old machinery shed. Cole turned. What fuel tank? Buried, apparently. There is no buried tank. The detection equipment indicates metal beneath the concrete pad. Maya stood. If there is an undocumented underground fuel tank, the environmental review is incomplete. Grant's jaw tightened. It may be inactive equipment. It may also require soil testing before transfer. He left without another word. Maya gathered her coat. I am going to photograph the site before anyone develops selective memory. Owen followed her. Evelyn looked at my mother. You should tell him. My mother's composure returned. There is nothing to tell. She walked upstairs. Cole and I remained in the kitchen. The ring lay between us. He did not ask again. That was worse than anger. He picked up the ring and washed the mud from it beneath the tap. The silver brightened. He dried it with a clean towel. Then he set it in front of me. Keep it, he said. I bought it for you. You did not give it to me. I tried. No, you buried it. I planned to dig it up with you, but you did not come. His words remained calm. I wanted him to shout. I wanted the anger, because anger could be answered. The quiet grief in his face could not. I need more time, I said. Until when? Until I can explain without destroying what remains. He laughed softly. What remains? I looked at him. He pushed the ring toward me. I did not take it. Keep it until Friday, I said. Why? As collateral. For what? My promise that I will not leave before the deadline. Cole's gaze held mine. A buried promise is not worth much. Then hold it where you can see it. He closed his fingers around the band. The ring disappeared into his palm again. Until Friday, he said. Maya's environmental delay bought us 48 hours. The buried metal was not a fuel tank. It was the frame of an old grain scale, installed before modern record requirements. However, because the soil beneath it showed petroleum residue from decades of machinery storage, Grant's lender required additional testing. Closing moved from Friday morning to Monday afternoon. We had 4 days. Maya constructed a financing model. The farm would transfer into a cooperative land trust. Owen and 2 neighboring farmers would purchase agricultural memberships. The school district could lease the teaching shed and demonstration fields for vocational training. Cole's clinic could operate a large animal outreach unit from the veterinary building. A conservation organization might purchase a permanent development easement, reducing the capital required. Community investors could buy non-controlling shares. It was technically possible. It was also short by $300,000. "We need an anchor participant," Maya said. We were gathered in the school agriculture classroom where I taught, 2 counties away. I had driven Cole, Evelyn, Owen, and Maya there so the superintendent could view the proposal. My students had been sent home for the evening, but their projects surrounded us. Seed trials filled the windows. A model irrigation system ran along the back wall. Photographs of farm visits covered the bulletin board. Cole stopped beside a picture of me helping a student bottle feed a rejected lamb. "You look happy," he said. "I am happy here." He nodded, but his scent dimmed. I realized what he had heard. "Happy away from you." "That is not what I meant," I said. "You did not say anything. I know what you thought. Do not claim to know what I think." "I used to." "That was a long time ago." Maya called us to the table before I could answer. The superintendent, Rachel Bennett, was a practical beta with 20 years of administrative experience and no patience for sentimental proposals. She read every page. "The district cannot purchase farmland," she said. "We are asking you to enter a 10-year instructional lease," I replied, "using funds not allocated in our current budget. The state workforce grant opens next month. That money is not guaranteed. The school could become the lead regional program for agricultural technology. That is an aspiration." I connected my laptop to the classroom screen. Last year, 43 students applied for 18 agriculture placements. 12 came from farm families facing succession problems. 7 want veterinary careers. 6 want to remain in agriculture but cannot afford land. Rachel watched the screen. "We teach theory because we do not have enough operational acreage," I continued. "Reed Mason Farm has crop fields, livestock facilities, irrigation access, a clinic building, and housing. We could create apprenticeships instead of sending students away." Cole looked at the student applications. One included a photograph of a boy standing beside a dairy cow. Cole moved closer. "That is Lucas Bell," he said. "You know him?" "I treated their herd during a respiratory outbreak." "His family sold half the herd to pay the veterinary bill," Rachel said. Cole's face changed. "I reduced that bill." "It was not your invoice," Rachel replied. "It was the emergency transport and laboratory costs." Cole read Lucas's application. The boy had written that he wanted to become a rural veterinarian because the nearest emergency practice was 70 miles away. Cole sat down. "What would the outreach unit require?" he asked. Maya slid a budget toward him. He read it silently. Then he removed a pen from his pocket. "I can contribute the clinic's mobile service contract," he said, "if the cooperative assumes the equipment loan." "That increases operating revenue," Maya said. "It does not solve the capital gap. It may qualify the project for the veterinary shortage grant." Rachel looked at Cole. "That grant requires a 5-year service commitment." "I know. You would be agreeing to remain in the county." Cole glanced at me. "I have remained this long." The words were not meant as punishment. They hurt anyway. Rachel agreed to present the lease concept to the school board on Sunday evening. The conservation organization scheduled an emergency property review. 3 neighboring farmers expressed interest. For the first time, the numbers began to move. Then my mother called the bank. She informed them that the family ownership was disputed and that I lacked authority to negotiate. The lender suspended consideration of the cooperative proposal. I learned about it from Maya in the school parking lot. Cole stood 10 feet away, speaking with a livestock supplier. When I ended the call, he watched my expression. What happened? My mother happened. He excused himself from the supplier. What did she do? She challenged my authority. You do lack authority. I hold an inherited interest. You have never exercised it. I am exercising it now. You cannot build financing on a disputed share. I know. Cole studied me. What does she want? The sale. Why? To leave without liability. That is not enough. What do you mean? She could receive the same release through the cooperative purchase if the lender approves it. There is another reason. I knew he was right. My mother was not merely protecting herself from debt. She was protecting a version of the past. If the farm survived, the truth might survive with it. If Grant bought the land, the house would be emptied, the tree might be removed, and every physical reminder of what she had done would disappear. We need her signature, I said. Then I will speak to her. No. His eyes narrowed. You are still protecting her. I am protecting you. I did not ask you to. You would have lost everything. I lost you. The parking lot seemed to tilt beneath me. Cole stepped closer. His voice lowered. Whatever threat she made, whatever judgment she offered, whatever shame she placed on you, you should have trusted me enough to choose. You were 22. I was not a child. Your scholarship could be revoked. His face went still. The words had escaped. There was no way to take them back. My scholarship, he said. I could not breathe properly. Cole moved closer until only a narrow strip of cold air remained between us. What did she threaten? I looked toward the school entrance. 2 teachers were leaving. Students were still being collected near the gym. This is not the place. You have used that sentence for 9 years. Cole, what did she threaten? A complaint. What kind of complaint? I could not say it in the parking lot. Not because I was ashamed of loving him, because I was ashamed that fear had controlled me for so long. Cole saw the answer anyway. His alpha scent surged, then vanished beneath brutal restraint. He stepped back. She threatened to report me because of us. It was a morality clause attached to the donor scholarship. I remember the clause. She had names, committee members, church donors. She said an investigation would delay your admission, even if the complaint failed. And you believed her. Yes, you believed her more than you believed me. I believed she could hurt you. She did. His voice broke on the final word. I reached for him. Cole moved away before I touched his sleeve. He did not reject me violently. He simply denied me the comfort I had denied him. Where was the ring? He asked. What? When she threatened you, where was the ring? In the wooden box. The box I did not find beneath the tree. I stared at him. She brought it to the kitchen. But the ring was buried. I thought she had taken it from the box. Then why was it still underground? I had no answer. Cole's eyes sharpened. She lied about finding it. Why would she have the box? Maybe she found the receipt. Maybe she found the packaging. Maybe she saw you bury it and prepared another box. The implications opened beneath us. My mother had not accidentally discovered my plan. She had watched me. She had planned the ultimatum before I returned to the house. Cole took out the ring. He had threaded it onto a leather cord and placed it around his neck. The sight struck me so deeply that I had to look away. He lifted the band. Did the original box have a mark? He asked. My initials were burned into the bottom. Then we find it. After 9 years? If she kept it, she would have destroyed it. She kept documents that could destroy my career. She kept your fear alive for 9 years. People like that preserve proof because proof reminds them they had power. His voice had become cold, not toward me, toward her. I will not let you confront her alone, I said. I am not asking permission, and I am not giving it. For the first time since I returned, something familiar flashed in his expression. Frustrated affection. "You remain impossible," he said. "You used to like that. I used to like many things that damaged my judgment. Name 3. His mouth almost curved. Then thunder rolled across the distant fields. A storm warning lit my phone. Heavy rain was expected by nightfall. The county road near the farm flooded easily. Maya called before we reached the truck. "The Halpern family found a box of road records," she said. "They may have the irrigation agreement." "Where are they?" "June is bringing the files to the farm. The storm is moving in. She is already driving. Tell her to stop at the fire station if the creek rises." "She knows." Maya paused. "There is another problem. Grant scheduled a private meeting with the school board chair. He is trying to kill the lease. Probably. We will attend the meeting." "It is private. Then we will make it public." Cole opened the passenger door for me. "You truly believe every locked door is a personal invitation?" I learned from Evelyn. We returned to the farm beneath a darkening sky. June Halpern arrived 10 minutes later with 4 boxes in the back of her van. She was a cheerful beta in her 60s, who remembered me as the boy who had once crashed a tractor into her father's mailbox. "I maintain that the brakes failed," I said. "The brakes were not connected to the steering wheel," she replied. We carried the boxes into the machinery shed. The road supervisor files were organized by year but not by subject. Rain began pounding the metal roof. June searched 2002. Maya searched county notices. Owen checked maps. Evelyn remained in the house with my mother. Cole and I opened the last box together. Our shoulders brushed each time we reached for a folder. Neither of us moved farther away. The storm trapped scent inside the shed. Wet earth sharpened my Omega fragrance. Cole's cedar scent deepened in response. He opened the side door for ventilation without commenting. The gesture was small. It was also an answer. He still noticed everything that affected me. He still protected without taking control. At the bottom of the box, I found a yellow folder marked Pike Reed Road Restoration. Inside was the handwritten agreement. The signatures were faded but readable. My father, Owen's father. County Supervisor Halpern. The document granted permanent emergency and agricultural access across the North Pasture in exchange for shared water rights. It also prohibited any transfer that materially obstructed either right without consent from both farms. Maya photographed every page. "This delays closing," she said. "Grant cannot deliver clean access rights without Owen's consent." Owen stared at the signature of his late father. "How much delay?" "Weeks, possibly months. That is enough for the cooperative financing," I said. Cole did not celebrate. "What prevents Grant from accelerating the equipment debt tomorrow?" Maya's expression tightened. "Nothing, unless we obtain an injunction or substitute financing, which we do not have. Not yet." A vehicle door slammed outside. Grant entered the shed with rain running from his coat. "You had no authority to remove archived county records," he said. June stepped forward. "They belong to my family. They may contain public documents. They also contain my father's lunch receipts and a love letter from 1974. Would you like to file a claim for those?" Grant ignored her. His gaze fixed on the agreement in Maya's hand. "That document was never recorded. Continuous use can support enforceability," Maya replied. "It can support litigation. Litigation costs money." Owen took the agreement. "Try me." Grant turned to Cole. "You understand what happens if closing is delayed. The equipment lender resumes action." "I told you delay carried consequences." Cole stepped closer. Grant was a tall man. Cole still made him look smaller. "You purchased our debt," Cole said. "You pressured my family into a sale. You concealed the extent of your control over the clinic deadline. Now you are threatening to dismantle the only large animal practice serving 3 counties. Grant's composure cracked. "I am offering you a way out." A way out for whom? For everyone. You mean for you? Thunder struck close enough to shake the roof. The lights failed. Darkness swallowed the shed. Someone knocked over a metal pail. June cursed. Maya activated her phone light. Owen moved toward the door. Then a louder sound came from outside. A tree branch tore free near the house. Evelyn shouted. Cole ran into the rain. We followed. A heavy limb had fallen across the porch steps. The house itself was intact, but Evelyn and my mother were trapped inside. Cole climbed over the branch. I went after him. He turned. Stay back. Evelyn is inside. The smaller branches are unstable. I can see that. Nathan, I am not 19. His expression changed. Then he nodded. Step where I step. We crossed the broken branches together. Inside, Evelyn was unharmed. My mother stood near the window, pale and shaken. Cole checked them both. The road had already begun flooding. June and Maya could not safely drive home. Owen returned to his farm before the creek rose further. Grant ignored our warning and left in his four-wheel drive vehicle. The rest of us remained. The storm worsened. Water entered the basement. Cole and I worked beside each other carrying storage boxes upstairs. Most contained farm records, photographs, old veterinary textbooks, and my father's belongings. Near midnight, the basement pump failed. Cole went to the barn for a portable generator. I followed with a flashlight. Rain struck us hard enough to blur the path. We reached the barn soaked through. Cole pulled the doors closed behind us. The emergency lighting cast the stalls in dim amber. No animals remained inside because the livestock had been moved to higher shelter earlier that month. The barn felt enormous and empty. Kuehl removed his wet jacket. His shirt clung to his shoulders. I turned away too quickly. He noticed. Nathan, we need the generator. It is in the equipment room. Then why are we standing here? Because you are shaking. I am cold. Your scent changed before we left the house. Stress had weakened my suppressants. The storm, the confrontation, and hours spent close to Cole had pushed my body toward an early heat response. It was not dangerous yet. It was enough to make every instinct painfully aware of the alpha standing behind me. I have medication in my bag, I said. Your bag is in the guest room. We can reach it after restoring the pump. Cole did not move. What symptoms? Do not use your veterinarian voice. It is my medical voice. You are not my doctor. No, I am the alpha trapped in a barn with an omega whose suppressants are failing. I am not trapped. Lightning flashed through the high windows. The barn doors shook in the wind. Cole raised one eyebrow. The road is flooded. A tree is blocking the porch, and the storm has taken the power. We are temporarily limited in our travel options. Your bedside manner is terrible. My patients usually kick me. I understand why. A faint smile appeared. It vanished when another wave of scent moved between us. Cole stepped back immediately. He increased the distance instead of using my vulnerability to close it. I will retrieve the generator, he said. You remain here. No, Nathan. I know what you are doing. I am obtaining equipment. You are leaving the barn so I do not feel pressured. That is also true. I do not want you outside in this storm. I will use the side passage. The side passage roof collapsed last winter. He stared at me. How do you know that? Evelyn sent photographs. You said no one told you what was happening here. She sent photographs of ordinary repairs. She never mentioned the debt. So you watched from a distance. Every photograph. Cole looked away. The rain hammered the roof. I thought you forgot us, he said. I tried. His gaze returned to mine. That is not an answer. It is the only honest one I can give without saying too much. You have spent 9 years saying too little. I loved you. The confession left me before I could stop it. Cole became completely still. I could hear the generator's loose metal cover rattling in the equipment room. I could hear my own breath. I could smell cedar, rain, and the sharp sweetness of my Omega scent. I forced myself to continue. I loved you before our parents married, I said. I loved you afterward. I bought the ring because I wanted to ask whether we could stop allowing other people to name what we were. I planned to meet you beneath the tree. Cole's eyes had darkened. Then your mother threatened my scholarship. Yes. And you left. Yes. Did you stop loving me? No. The answer broke something open between us. Cole crossed half the distance, then stopped. His restraint was visible in every line of his body. Tell me to leave, he said. I do not want you to leave. Tell me what you do want. I do not know how to want anything without calculating what it might cost you. That is not love. That is fear making decisions in love's name. I know that now. Do you? Yes. Then choose something. I looked at him. The storm shook the doors again. Stay, I whispered. Cole stepped closer. He still did not touch me. May I check your pulse? You can touch my wrist. You can touch my wrist. His fingers closed gently around my wrist. The contact sent heat through my arm. Cole inhaled sharply. His thumb rested over my pulse. Fast, he said. You are standing too close. You asked me to stay. I did not ask you to be calm about it. His eyes held mine. I am not calm. The alpha beneath his restraint had become impossible to ignore. He wanted me. Not because my suppressants were weakening. Not because we were alone. Because he had wanted me for years and believed that desire had been buried without him. I reached for the leather cord around his neck. Cole caught my hand before I touched the ring. Do not, he said. I froze. His grip loosened immediately. I am sorry. You do not need to apologize for a boundary. His expression shifted at the word. Boundary. Something painful and grateful moved through his scent. The ring is not yours to take back, he said. I bought it. You buried it for me. Then it is yours. Not until I decide what it means. What does it mean now? That depends on whether you leave again. I stepped closer. I promised to stay until Friday. It is Saturday morning. I glanced toward the barn clock. Midnight had passed. Then I need a new promise. Cole's hand was still around my wrist. What are you offering? Tomorrow. His gaze searched mine. That is not enough. It was also more intimate than a kiss. My knees weakened. Cole steadied me with one hand at my waist, then immediately asked, Is this all right? Yes. His forehead lowered toward mine. Our scents tangled in the warm darkness. The ring rested between us on its leather cord. His mouth was close enough that I felt his breath. Nathan, he said, and my name sounded like the beginning of every answer I had denied us. Then the air changed. His fingers tightened carefully at my waist. My hand rose to the scar along his jaw. Cole turned his face into my palm. The barn doors shuddered beneath the storm, but neither of us looked away. This is where the YouTube-safe version must fade away from the barn. The complete scene after Nathan asked Cole to stay. The uncut adult continuation. Their consent conversation. The moment the buried ring changed meaning. And Cole's private alpha point of view are available on Patreon. For now, the story returns when the storm has passed and the barn doors open the next morning. At dawn, the world smelled washed clean. Cole opened the barn doors. Broken branches covered the yard. Mist rose above the flooded lower field. I stood behind him, wearing his dry veterinary sweatshirt. It hung past my hips. Cole had changed into spare coveralls from the equipment room. Neither of us spoke about the hours the YouTube-safe story had left behind. He touched the leather cord at his throat once. The ring remained there. That was enough to alter the silence. The generator restored the basement pump. By 7, the water level was falling. June and Maya prepared breakfast. Evelyn watched Cole and me enter the kitchen together. Her gaze moved from his sweatshirt on my body to the ring around his neck. She said nothing. Her smile was almost invisible. My mother noticed too. Her face hardened. "Where were you?" she asked. "Restoring power," Cole replied. "All night?" "The storm lasted all night." Her gaze shifted to me. "You should change." "I am comfortable." Cole placed a cup of tea in front of me. He remembered how I drank it. No sugar. A little milk. That small act made my mother look more alarmed than any confrontation had. She stood. "Nathan, we need to speak privately." "No. Do not be childish. I am refusing privacy, not behaving childishly. There are matters Cole should not hear. Anything involving his scholarship, the ring, or why I left is his matter." Cole set down the kettle. My mother looked at Evelyn. "You have encouraged this." "I encouraged breakfast," Evelyn replied. "The rest required no assistance." Maya entered with her laptop. "The road remains closed, so everyone has time for honesty." My mother's eyes narrowed. "This is a family issue." Maya sat at the table. "I am here for the financial issue. Unfortunately, your family has tied the two together." She opened a document. Grant's servicing agreement allows him to accelerate the clinic equipment debt after any material delay caused by the sellers. However, an environmental or title defect is not seller-caused. Cole leaned over the screen. "The easement delay protects us. Temporarily. How long? 10 business days before he can pursue an alternate remedy." I looked at Maya. "Enough time for preliminary cooperative financing?" "Enough time to attempt it." My mother picked up her handbag. "I will not participate." "You own 12%, I said. "And I intend to sell it." "To Grant?" "To anyone who provides a clean release. The cooperative can do that. It does not exist. It will." "You have always confused idealism with competence." Cole moved between us. His voice remained quiet. "Do not speak to him that way." She looked almost amused. "You are defending the person who abandoned you." "I am speaking to the person who threatened my education." The room went still. My mother's expression did not change. "You have no evidence." Cole touched the ring. "I have his account." Nathan was emotional. He misunderstood. "I did not misunderstand," I said. "You were 19. You told me an anonymous complaint would trigger an investigation. You named 2 scholarship committee members. You showed me the morality clause. I warned you about consequences. You created the threat. I protected both of you from a decision that would have destroyed your futures." Cole's scent turned dangerously cold. "You protected my future by removing me from it. You became a veterinarian." And he disappeared. "You both built respectable lives." Respectable to whom? My mother's control slipped. "To the community that funded your education. To the patients who trusted you. To the family whose name you carried." "I carried my father's name. Your father would never have accepted this." Evelyn struck her cane against the floor. "My son knew." Everyone turned toward her. Cole stared at his grandmother. "What?" Evelyn's hands trembled around the cane. "He knew you loved Nathan." My mother went pale. Evelyn continued. "He spoke to me the week before the scholarship ceremony. He said he was afraid the marriage had placed you both in an impossible position. I told him you were adults and would make your own choices." "Why did he say nothing to me?" Cole asked. "Because Vivian convinced him that silence would keep peace until you finished school." My mother's voice sharpened. "That is not what happened." Evelyn ignored her. "After Nathan left, your father realized something was wrong. He asked Vivian. She told him Nathan had become ashamed of the family and wanted no contact. I felt physically ill. My father believed I was ashamed of him?" "At first," Evelyn said. "Later, he doubted her." "Why did he never call me?" "He did." I shook my head. "I received no calls. He wrote too. I received nothing. Cole looked at my mother. What did you do? She picked up her handbag. I will not remain here for accusations based on the memory of dead men. She moved toward the door. The flooded road prevented her from leaving, but she seemed willing to walk into the storm debris rather than answer. Cole blocked the doorway without touching her. Where are the letters? I do not know. Where is the wooden ring box? For the first time, real fear entered her scent. Cole saw it. So did I. She stepped back. I disposed of it years ago. You kept it, Cole said. You cannot know that. You keep proof. Her face changed. That was enough. Evelyn spoke from the table. Check the old sewing room. My mother turned sharply. Why? Because you asked me last year whether the attic lock still worked. Cole moved first. The old sewing room was at the end of the upstairs hallway. After my father died, my mother had stored several trunks there before moving to the city. Most had been collected. One remained beneath the window. It was locked. Cole retrieved a tool from the basement and removed the hinges rather than breaking the latch. Inside were tax records, property deeds, family photographs, and bundles of letters tied with cotton ribbon. My name appeared on the first envelope. The return address belonged to the farm. My knees nearly failed. Cole caught my elbow. This time, I allowed him to steady me. There were 37 letters from my father. None had been opened. Beneath them were 12 envelopes addressed to Cole in my handwriting. I recognized every one. I had mailed them from college during my first year away. My mother had intercepted them. Cole picked up the top envelope. His hands shook. I thought you never wrote. I wrote every week. He closed his eyes. The room filled with the scent of grief. At the bottom of the trunk was a small wooden box. My initials were burned into the underside. Cole lifted it carefully. The interior was empty. Beneath the velvet lining lay the original jewelry receipt. The ring description matched the band around Cole's neck. My mother had taken the packaging and receipt. She had left the ring buried because she had not known exactly where I placed it. She had watched me carry the box toward the tree. Then she had prepared her ultimatum before I returned. Cole sat on the floor beside the trunk. I lowered myself beside him. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. He opened one of my letters. You may read it, I said. It was written to me. Yes. His eyes moved across the page. I remembered the words without seeing them. Cole, I know silence is what I promised, but I cannot survive the idea that you think I left because I stopped caring. His breath caught. He read the next line. I am trying to protect the future you worked for, even if you hate me for it. Cole folded the letter carefully. You told me. I tried. You told me 12 times. Yes. He looked at the unopened envelopes. Why did you stop? She sent me a copy of your scholarship renewal notice with a handwritten message. What did it say? One more letter and the committee receives everything. Cole's jaw tightened. I had already graduated when the final scholarship renewal occurred. I did not know. She kept you afraid after she no longer had leverage. Yes. He opened another envelope. Inside was a pressed sycamore leaf. The leaf crumbled at one edge when exposed to air. Cole held it as though it were alive. I hated you, he whispered. I know. I wanted you to come back so I could tell you. I know. I practiced what I would say. What would you have said? He looked at me. That I hoped leaving hurt you. The honesty cut, but I nodded. It did. I hoped every place you went felt temporary. It did. I hoped every person you tried to love reminded you of me. There was no one else. Cole stared at me. No one? No. 9 years. I went on dates. I tried to build relationships. I never allowed anyone close enough to become a life. Because of me? Because part of me was still beneath that tree. Cole lifted the ring from his chest. The silver caught the pale morning light. We found that part. Not all of it. No. He glanced toward the hallway. My mother stood outside the open door. Her face had lost all color. She looked at the letters, then at us. "I did what I believed was necessary," she said. I stood slowly. "You allowed Dad to die believing I rejected him. He did not die believing that. You intercepted his letters. He was ill. The conflict would have harmed him. You always call control protection. I protected Cole's career." Cole rose beside me. "You protected the version of me you could present to other people. I ensured you had a future. You had no right to decide that Nathan could not be part of it." Her expression hardened. "You were young. You would have ruined each other." "We managed that without being together," he said. My mother flinched. I had never seen Cole deliberately wound her. He did not seem satisfied by it. He looked tired. "I will not seek revenge," he said. "I will not expose you publicly merely to cause pain. But you will not interfere again. You still require my signature. The cooperative can purchase your interest." "At what value?" "Fair appraised value after debt allocation," Maya said from the hallway. She had followed Evelyn upstairs. My mother looked at her. "And if I refuse?" Maya's expression was professional. "Then the other owners may petition for partition. The easement dispute and environmental review will delay any sale. Your release from liability could take months or years." My mother's confidence weakened. "You would force litigation against me?" "No," I said. "I am offering you the clean separation you claim to want. You receive fair value. You sign the transfer. You surrender the letters and all documents relating to Cole's scholarship. And what do you receive? The right to make my own decisions." She looked from me to Cole. "You believe this farm will solve what happened between you?" "No," I replied. "The farm is land. What happened between us requires truth. And forgiveness? That is not yours to request." Her face tightened. For a moment, I saw the woman who had raised me, the mother who packed lunches, checked homework, and sat beside my bed when I was sick. People who caused deep harm were rarely monsters every hour of their lives. That complexity did not erase what she had done. It made grief more difficult. "You will have the transfer documents by tomorrow," I said. She left the room without answering. By midday, the road reopened. Grant returned with an attorney and a representative from the equipment lender. He expected to find us frightened. Instead, he found 37 intercepted letters, the enforceable access agreement, an environmental delay, and a cooperative proposal gaining public attention. Maya invited the local agricultural newspaper to document the educational plan. Rachel Bennett scheduled the school board presentation as an open meeting. Owen contacted every farm family who depended on Cole's clinic. June Halpern contacted the former County Supervisors Association, which treated Grant's challenge to her father's records as a personal insult. The crisis had become public. Grant adapted quickly. He did not withdraw. He attacked the cooperative's credibility. By Saturday evening, an anonymous social media account began posting financial documents from the farm. The posts accused Cole of mismanagement. They described the cooperative as an emotional rescue attempt, created by an absent Omega who had abandoned his family and returned only when property values increased. One post included a photograph of me entering the barn with Cole during the storm. The caption asked whether school funds should support a private family romance. The photograph had been taken from the road. Grant's survey team had been the only outsiders on the property that night. Cole saw the post before I did. He entered the kitchen with his phone in one hand. His scent was so controlled that I knew he was furious. "You are not attending the school board meeting," he said. I looked up from the cooperative budget. "That is not your decision. The posts are targeting you. They are targeting the proposal. They are questioning your professional conduct. Then I will answer publicly. No. Cole. I will present the veterinary plan. Maya will present the financing. You stay here. You do not protect me by removing my voice. His expression shifted. The words echoed what he had said about my mother. I stood. If I hide, Grant defines the story. He says I returned for money. He says the cooperative is a cover for private interests. He says our relationship makes the educational plan corrupt. Our relationship? The question changed the air. I realized what I had said. Cole took one step closer. What relationship are you acknowledging? I forced myself not to retreat. The one we are trying to understand. That is not a public answer. It is the honest answer. And if honesty costs you your job, then I decide whether the cost is mine to accept. He looked at me for a long time. Then he nodded. You decide. The simple surrender of control meant more than a possessive declaration would have. He handed me the phone. There is another post. The image showed the ring around his neck. It had been enlarged from a photograph taken outside the machinery shed. The caption read, "Foreclosure or engagement." My stomach tightened. They know the ring matters, I said. They do not know why. My mother might have told Grant. Would she? I do not know what she will do now. Cole removed the leather cord. For one terrible second, I thought he would hide it. Instead, he held out the ring. Put it on me. My breath stopped. Cole. Not on my finger. He turned, exposing the back of his neck. The clasp. My hands shook as I secured the cord again. His skin was warm beneath my fingertips. He faced me. I will not hide the proof that you tried to choose me, he said. The ring also proves I failed. No, the letters prove someone prevented your choice from reaching me. I still left. And I still signed the sale. You were saving the clinic. I was also tired. There were days when I wanted the farm gone because every field reminded me of everyone I lost. His honesty softened something inside me. I understand. No, you are about to tell me that the land can be saved. I need you to understand that saving it will not erase what it cost. Then the cooperative must change what the farm demands from you. How? You stop carrying every debt alone. The clinic becomes a cooperative service, not your personal sacrifice. The school pays for facilities. Farmers share equipment. Students provide supervised labor. The farm stops surviving through one exhausted alpha. And what do you do? I teach. Here? The question was almost too careful. If the board approves the program, you would move back. I would divide my time at first. His scent dimmed. At first, he repeated, I am trying not to promise more than I can keep. He nodded. That is fair. But I am not planning to disappear. His eyes lifted to mine. That is more than fair. Sunday evening, the school auditorium filled beyond capacity. Farm families occupied the front rows. Teachers, students, journalists, bank representatives, and county officials filled the rest. Grant sat beside his attorney. My mother sat alone near the aisle. Cole stood backstage wearing a dark suit he had probably not used since my father's funeral. The ring remained visible against his white shirt. You could put it beneath the collar, I said. No. The reporters will photograph it. I know. They will ask questions. I know. I adjusted his tie because it was slightly crooked. His gaze remained on my face. You are doing that deliberately, he said. Doing what? Touching me when I cannot react. You are capable of restraint. That does not mean restraint is effortless. I released the tie. You look presentable. You look terrified. I am not. Your scent says otherwise. Stop diagnosing me. Stop lying to your veterinarian. You are not my veterinarian. No, he said softly. I'm still waiting to learn what I am. A stage coordinator called my name. I walked into the auditorium before I could answer. Grant spoke first. He presented his acquisition as a responsible solution to an unsustainable family business. He promised to preserve the farmhouse exterior, maintain limited agricultural use, and create construction jobs. He did not mention the luxury estate plan submitted to the county. Maya displayed it on the screen during her presentation. The audience reacted immediately. The plan divided the north pasture into private lots. The lower access road became a gated drive. The veterinary outbuilding was marked for demolition. Owen spoke next. He explained how losing permanent access would place his farm in foreclosure. June authenticated her father's copy of the easement. Rachel presented the school's need for an operational teaching site. 3 students described why local agricultural training mattered. Then Cole approached the microphone. The room quieted. He was known across the county. Half the audience had called him during a livestock emergency. Many had received bills he reduced, delayed, or quietly forgave. Cole looked at the crowd. "I agreed to sell Reed Mason Farm," he said. "No one forced my signature." Grant relaxed slightly. Cole continued. "I signed because the farm owes more than it can currently repay. My grandfather built the original dairy barn. My father expanded the fields. Nathan's father restored the lower pasture. Our family also borrowed against that history, until memory became collateral." He touched the ring unconsciously. "I believed selling was the responsible choice. I also believed responsibility meant deciding alone." His gaze found me. I was wrong. A camera clicked. Cole looked toward Grant. I was not given complete information about the buyer's control over my clinic equipment debt. I was told the deadline was outside his authority. Documents now show that his company was administering the enforcement schedule. Grant's attorney stood. "That characterization is disputed." Cole did not raise his voice. "You will have an opportunity to dispute it." The attorney sat. Cole explained the cooperative clinic plan. He committed 5 years of veterinary outreach service. He offered his mobile contract as revenue. Then he addressed the photograph from the storm. "Someone attempted to discredit this project by photographing Nathan and me entering our own barn during a dangerous storm," he said. "The post implied that private feelings invalidate public work." My pulse accelerated. Cole's eyes remained on me. "Nathan and I are adults. Our parents married after we met. Whatever exists between us began before that marriage and belongs to us, not to anonymous accounts or property buyers." The auditorium became completely silent. "We have not defined our future," he continued. "That uncertainty does not make his financial analysis false. It does not make the easement disappear. It does not reduce the value of agricultural education. It does not excuse using private surveillance to influence a public decision." Grant's face had gone rigid. Cole removed the ring from beneath his shirt and held it up. This ring was found beneath the tree the buyer's road plan would remove. It was buried 9 years ago. It is proof of a private promise that was interrupted by family pressure and fear. It is not proof that Nathan returned for money. He lowered the ring. He returned with a plan to save land that I had already surrendered. Public shame became public truth in a single moment. Cole did not claim me. He did not speak for me. He placed the choice back in my hands. When my name was called, I approached the microphone. My mother watched from the aisle. Grant watched from the front row. Cole remained beside me. I explained the cooperative structure. I presented projected revenue from school leasing, veterinary outreach, conservation payments, farmer memberships, and community investment. Then Grant stood. "Your plan remains underfunded," he said. The board chair asked him to wait. Grant ignored her. "You are asking a public school to tie its reputation to a family property carrying nearly $700,000 in debt. Your conservation funding is not approved. Your cooperative shares are not sold. Your mother disputes the transfer." Every statement was accurate. That was what made him dangerous. I looked at the funding total. We were still short by $240,000. The plan is incomplete, I said. Murmurs moved through the auditorium. Grant smiled. I continued. That is why we are not asking the district to purchase the farm tonight. We are asking for a conditional lease commitment that allows us to complete financing. And if you fail, the district pays nothing. The family still defaults. Yes. Grant spread his hands. Then this meeting is emotional theater. A voice rose from the third row. No, Lucas Bell said. It is the first time anyone asked what the farm could become. The 17-year-old student stood. His father tried to pull him down. Lucas remained upright. My family cannot donate much, he said, but I have saved $4,000 for college. I will invest $1,000 in a student cooperative share. I stared at him. Lucas, you should not make that decision tonight. You taught us not to invest money we could not lose. I can lose $1,000. I cannot lose every place that might let me come home after veterinary school. Another student stood. My family can purchase a farm membership. Then another. A dairy owner offered a service contract. A feed supplier offered deferred billing. A retired teacher pledged $10,000. Owen pledged part of his upper pasture as collateral if the access agreement was preserved. The commitments did not immediately erase the gap. They transformed the proposal from a family rescue into a community project. Grant understood the shift. He approached my mother during the recess. I saw them speaking near the exit. My mother's face tightened. Then Grant handed her a document. Maya moved closer to hear. She returned quickly. He offered to purchase Vivian's share directly tonight, she said. At what price? Twice the appraised equity. He wants voting control to block the cooperative. Yes. I crossed the auditorium. Cole followed but did not overtake me. My mother held the offer in both hands. It is enough to settle my remaining liability, she said. The cooperative will settle it. Not tonight. If you sign with Grant, he can petition for partition. He said the sale would still protect the clinic. He lied to Cole about the equipment deadline. He described it differently. I looked at her. Do you truly believe him? Her gaze moved to the ring around Cole's neck. This public spectacle will follow you both. That is not an answer. You will lose your position. The superintendent is standing 20 feet away, and she has not asked me to resign. People will talk. They already have. You think love makes you brave. No, I think fear made me obedient. Her expression faltered. I lowered my voice. You taught me to abandon someone and call it protection. I repeated that lesson for 9 years. I will not repeat it tonight. She looked down at Grant's offer. What do you expect from me? Sign the cooperative transfer at fair value. And then, leave, stay, apologize, or remain angry. Those choices are yours. You would allow me to leave after everything? I cannot force you to become the mother I needed. Tears filled her eyes. She looked away before they fell. For the first time, I understood that she had expected punishment, because punishment would keep us connected. A clean boundary frightened her more. She tore Grant's offer in half. The sound was small. It changed the future of the farm. I will sign the cooperative transfer, she said. Grant's face hardened. You are making an emotional decision. She looked at him. So did you when you assumed shame would make my son surrender. She handed the torn pages back. It was not redemption. It was one correct choice after years of harm. For that night, it was enough. The school board approved the conditional lease by a vote of 6-1. The conservation organization issued a preliminary commitment the next morning. The easement dispute blocked Grant's immediate closing. Maya negotiated a temporary standstill with the equipment lender after local press coverage made seizure politically uncomfortable. We had 14 days to complete the cooperative purchase. Those 14 days nearly broke us. Commitments were not cash. Grant challenged the property valuation. The bank demanded additional reserves. The state grant could not release funds before the next quarter. Cole worked full clinic shifts while attending financing meetings at night. I taught remotely, wrote applications before dawn, and drove between counties until the road blurred. We argued over everything. Cole wanted to contribute the entire future value of his veterinary contract. I refused to let him sacrifice himself again. I wanted to pledge my retirement account. Cole refused to let me replace guilt with money. Maya threatened to lock us in separate rooms until we understood cooperative decision-making. Evelyn told her to use the barn because the doors were stronger. The ring stayed around Cole's neck. Sometimes I caught him touching it while reading reports. He never put it on his finger. I never asked him to. The final capital gap was $86,000. We had reduced it through memberships, conservation funds, the school lease, and a low-interest rural development loan. $86,000 might as well have been $8 million. The deadline arrived on a Monday. At 9 that morning, the bank scheduled the foreclosure filing. At 10, Grant submitted a revised cash offer. At 11, Owen received notice that his operating loan would be suspended if access remained uncertain. At noon, Cole was called to an emergency at a horse farm. I sat in Maya's office staring at the final spreadsheet. "There is no remaining grant source," she said. "What about historic preservation? The farmhouse is old, not designated. Beginning farmer funding? You do not qualify as beginning farmers. Community development? Wrong census tract." I pressed both hands against my eyes. There must be something. Maya was silent. Then my phone rang. Rachel Bennett was calling. "The district attorney reviewed the lease," she said. My heart sank at the phrase district attorney, until I remembered she meant the school district's attorney. "There is an issue with the teaching shed," she continued. "What issue?" "It does not meet current accessibility requirements. We can renovate. The renovation estimate is $89,000. "That is not money we have. The district has a facilities accessibility fund." I lowered my hands. "How much?" $90,000. I stopped breathing. "The fund cannot purchase property," Rachel said. "It can pay for accessibility improvements to a leased instructional site. If the cooperative gives the district a 20-year lease instead of 10, the board can authorize the renovation." Maya leaned toward the phone. "Would the bank recognize the committed improvement as property equity? The appraiser says the improved facility value would increase by approximately $112,000. The capital gap disappeared. I began laughing. Maya began crying. Rachel told both of us to remain professional. We failed. At 2:15, the bank approved the restructuring. At 2:30, the cooperative purchase agreement was signed. At 3, Grant's acquisition contract expired because he could not resolve the easement objection or obtain unanimous owner consent. At 3:10, he removed the sold sign from beneath the sycamore tree. Cole returned at 4. His truck stopped beside the barn. He climbed out slowly. Dried mud covered his boots. His hair was disordered from the wind. He looked toward the tree. The red sign was gone. In its place stood a temporary board painted by my students. Reed Mason Agricultural Learning Cooperative. Cole stared at it. I waited beside the tree with Evelyn, Maya, Owen, Rachel, Lucas, June, and 23 cooperative members. No one spoke. Cole walked toward us. His gaze found mine. "Is it finished?" he asked. "The bank signed. The equipment loan? Transferred into the cooperative restructuring. Grandmother's home? Protected through a lifetime occupancy agreement. Owens Road. Permanent easement recorded this morning. The clinic? Still yours. The outreach unit begins after renovation." He looked at the farmhouse, then at the fields, then at the ring around his neck. For months, perhaps years, Cole had held himself upright through pressure alone. That pressure finally released. He covered his face with one hand. Evelyn reached him first. She placed both arms around his waist. Cole bent over her, shaking silently. Owen joined them. Then Maya, Then half the cooperative forgot professional boundaries and created an awkward circle in the mud. I remained beneath the tree. This moment belonged partly to Cole and the people who had stayed. When the others stepped away, he walked toward me. "You did it," he said. "We did. You came back. Yes. You stayed. Yes." He removed the leather cord. The old ring dropped into his palm. "What happens to this?" he asked. "That depends." "On what?" "On whether you are willing to dig beneath the tree one more time." His eyes narrowed. "What did you do?" "I transformed a crisis object. You spend too much time with teachers." "I am a teacher." I handed him the shovel. The others watched from a respectful distance. Cole drove the blade into the soft soil beside the exposed root where he had found the first ring. He dug carefully. After 3 attempts, the shovel struck wood. Cole knelt. He pulled a small box from the earth. It was new. His hands became still. "Nathan, open it." He wiped the dirt from the lid. Inside lay another silver ring. This one carried no initials. The outer surface was engraved with the outline of a sycamore leaf. Beneath the ring was a folded piece of paper. Cole opened it. I had written one sentence. This time, nothing is buried unless we choose to uncover it together. He read it twice. Then he looked at me. "What are you asking?" Every person near the tree seemed to stop breathing. The old version of me wanted to provide a perfect answer. He wanted to promise forever, because forever sounded powerful. He wanted to compensate for 9 lost years in one dramatic sentence. I refused to let guilt speak for me again. "I am asking whether you want to begin," I said. "Begin what?" "Tomorrow. Then the day after that. I am asking whether we can learn who we are without my mother's fear, without the farm's debt, and without pretending the past did not happen." Cole lifted the new ring. "Is this an engagement ring?" "It can become one." "That is not an answer. It is the most honest answer I have." He studied my face. "What would make it become one?" "Your choice. And yours. I made mine when I came home." His alpha scent moved through the evening air. Cedar. Rain. Warm earth. He stepped close enough that the new ring rested between our bodies. "I am still angry," he said. "I know. I still have questions. I will answer them. I do not trust promises easily. You should not. I may wake tomorrow and remember every year you were gone. I will still be here when you wake." His eyes darkened. That sounded like a promise. "It is a promise for tomorrow." Cole looked at the old ring in one hand and the new ring in the other. Then he closed his fingers around both. "Come with me," he said. "Where?" "Inside." "Why?" "Because I have spent 9 years asking questions beneath this tree, and I will not accept your final answer in front of 23 cooperative members and my grandmother." Evelyn called from behind us. I can pretend not to listen. Cole's mouth curved. It was the first full smile I had seen since returning. He held out his hand. I looked at it. Then I placed my hand in his. His fingers closed around mine with possessive certainty and careful restraint. He led me toward the farmhouse. At the porch, I stopped. Cole turned. "What is wrong?" "Nothing. Your scent says otherwise. I am remembering the last time I crossed this porch after burying a ring." He stepped back down until we stood at the same level. "You do not have to enter." "I want to." "Then choose it." I looked at the open doorway. 9 years earlier, I had entered that house and surrendered my future to fear. Now the farm belonged to a cooperative. The letters had been recovered. The truth was public. My mother no longer controlled the door. Cole waited without pulling me. I stepped forward. Together, we crossed the threshold. The 2 rings remained in his hand. The old one carried the promise we had lost. The new one carried a question we had not answered. Cole closed the door behind us. And that is where the YouTube safe version ends. The Patreon continuation unlocks what happened after the farmhouse door closed. The complete adult spicy reunion, Cole's abandoned alpha point of view, the private truth about the Storm Night barn scene, Nathan's real answer about the new ring, their consensual mate bond decision, and the bonus teaching farm epilogue. It also includes the scenes and emotional aftermath that YouTube could not include. The link is in the description and pinned comment. Unlock the full version now. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Because I don't make any money from YouTube, I depend entirely on paid Patreon subscriptions to keep this channel alive and continue creating content for you. I will keep posting here on YouTube, but if you want to support my work, please visit patreon.com, FelixBL. The link is the very first one in the description below. Before you go, tell me in the comments where in the world you're watching from and share your thoughts on the story.